Hey guys! So I know I said I was going to start yesterday with part one of the Hansel and Gretel Fixing It series. That didn't work out. So here I am. This is part one. I'm actually going to be talking about just the first minute and 45 seconds of the movie. Sounds crazy, yes, I know, but hear me out. This part is actually very crucial to understanding the rest of the movie. Because we start the movie with two kids, a little boy and a little girl, named Andrew and Katie. They are not connected to Hansel and Gretel whatsoever. However, the sad thing is that they have just lost their mother. Now, I'm going to show you this scene, and then I will explain it. Okay? Enjoy.
Go to sleep, Katie.
You know I can't go to sleep with the light off.
Try counting sheep.
I don't like sheep. They scare me.
You are so sad.
Stop it.
Okay, you two, what's all the talking about?
I can't sleep with the light off.
I could have.
All right, let's just settle down.
I miss Mom. And I think there's something in the closet.
How about a story?
Could we?
Yeah? Okay.
So as you can see, this scene has been taken in the real world. Andrew and Katie are in present day. And as you can see, it's raining outside. You see Andrew's toys on the side, which are like really creepy dragon toys, where, Katie has these super cute, like little fairy toy, an innocent little teddy bear. But what's the deal here? The key word is her fear of sheep, and especially when she says, I miss Mom. What happened here is that her mother and them used to live in a sort of house. Imagine a sort of fine family house in the country where you have like horses and sheep and cows. However, there was a horrible storm that night. And while her mother was transferring some of the sheep and she passed away. Now that's something that Katie and Andrew did not deal well, and neither did their father. Katie dealt with it in a way where she would delve into fantasy and books and creating characters in her mind and anything that seemed that could rescue her from reality of not having her mother. Whereas Andrew did the exact opposite. He would delve into horror stories and awful things. We can see this in a few more clips that I'm going to put on soon. But he would delve on into those things in order to make reality seem so much more bearable in comparison.
You wouldn't sell any of Mommy's things, would you, Daddy?
No, honey, no, I wouldn't. But I don't think Hansel and Gretel's dad had a choice. They were starving.
Maybe they could eat each other, like cannibals.
That's enough, Andrew.
I give you classic Andrew, everybody. Right? But really, though.
How about this one?
Nah.
Oh, this one was your favorite last year. You don't love this one anymore. Okay. Well, I've never seen this one before.
Neither have we.
All right, then let's try this. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there stood a lowly shack, hardly fit for an animal to live.
Wait a minute. Don't these stories usually start with a castle? Is this a fairy tale?
Let's just give it a few pages.
There aren't any sheep in any of these fairy tales, are there?
So they finally move into this really small house after their death of the mother, and this is the first time the two of them are together. And now Katie just wants to deal with the death of her mother in peace. She wants her brother and her, despite their differences, to just be this close and deal through this horrible thing together. And now we see their father. Their father, who isn't really given a name yet, comes and he is like, oh dear, they miss their mother. I miss my wife. What am I going to do? Now, when their mother was with Katie and Andrew, she would always read stories. However, this was something that her husband never really would do. So now he's trying to imitate what he knows and is trying to give strength to the children while swallowing up his own need for strength. So he takes the kind of books that they used to love, not understanding that, wow, it reminds them of their mother, and obviously they can't do that right now. So he has to somehow figure out a way to comfort them both. And how do you comfort a little girl and little boy through the death of the mother when they both hate what each other loves? Andrew hates fairy tales and things that are sweet and cuddly, and he would prefers horror things and things that are more practical and realistic, while Katie would much rather stay away from that. How do you deal with that? So now we have this weird book that neither of them have ever seen before. And he decides, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read this book to you guys. And he starts getting the conflict, where Katie doesn't want sheep and Andrew doesn't want doesn't want fairy tales. So that's what we got so far. Now, see, the thing is, the biggest question is, where did this book come from? And here's the answer. Hansel and Gretel is a book of siblings being this close, trying to deal with the horrible adventure of a witch and a stepmother and this and that. Okay. And that's what Katie wants. In reality, this book is really just a scream for help. All her dreams and all her characters and all the hope that she wants, the dreams to bring the family together in this time of crisis. That's what this book is. Now, how did her thoughts and her mind go to an actual book? We'll see. Stay tuned for part 2, where we start the actual story of Hansel and Gretel.